Tonight on CTV News, we cover the kickoff of the ACSU election season and talk to the girls that make up the CSU Women's Club volleyball team.
Then we have coverage of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Old Town, and then find out where the fee increase funds are going according to the Student Review Board. All this and more on CTV News, starting now. Good evening, CSU. I'm Sydney Paul, and tonight we take a look at new cutting-edge stem cell research being utilized by the Veterinary Center on campus.
We also look into the Murphy Center and how they have a hand in helping the homelessness crisis in Fort Collins. I'm Kiaira, and let's get started with today's top headlines. Future ACSU leaders will be elected later this semester. The candidates are already gearing up for the campaign season, and CSU students are speaking up about the qualities they want in the people who will represent them in office. CSU student body government, ACSU, announced their Senate and presidential candidates for the 2018 and 19 term. The poll includes a variety of people, including those who have ran for a position in last year's election. Although campaigns have yet to kick off, students are already expressing issues they would like addressed on campus.
Well, I think CSU is a great campus in general, but one of the things I'd like to see improvement is maybe some adjustments on the parking, because a lot of times there's mix-ups or you get a ton of parking tickets for parking at the wrong time.
While some are satisfied with the way things are.
I like to see the same stuff though. I think it's been pretty successful, just a couple changes here and there.
Others want future ACSU leaders to ensure that underrepresented students are comfortable on CSU's campus.
He or she should represent all the students, like those who are coming from around the world, and the students might have problems, they might have problems of adjustment.
And that all marginalized voices are heard.
I would really like to see a group of student leaders that are aware of all of the different perspectives and lived experiences we have within our student body, and actively working to amplify marginalized voices, especially those that have been targeted targeted through the incidences of bias this semester. I'd like to see them given more of a voice in our student government, and I'd like to see some of these issues addressed more critically and thoroughly.
ACSU will hold 2 presidential debates in which candidates can state why they're the better choice for office. The first will be March 21st and the second March 28th. Voting will then open to students on RamWeb starting April 2nd at 4 p.m.
Be able to represent the thoughts and ideas of the students to the governing body, so that the students' thoughts and needs are being met by the university.
CTV will be closely following the ACSU campaigns and debates this election season to bring you the latest updates. Also, for more information and coverage, you can visit thecollegian.com.
A fire sprinkler on the 3rd floor of the Cottonwood buildings in Aggie Village Apartments went off March 2nd, flooding the 3rd floor and caused water damage to multiple floors. 7 residents had to move out of their apartments after the sprinkler caused unlivable damage. According to Mary Strombaum, Interim Executive Director of Housing and Dining Services, the 7 students, who were all from 2 apartments, were relocated or displaced. The anticipated cost for the services and repairs needed as a result of this sprinkler head activation is $30,000, and firefighters are still working to clear water from the rooms on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floors. No injuries have been reported. Yesterday, the ACSU held its weekly Student Fee Review Board to listen and discuss funding proposals and future plans, presented by fellow CSU organizations.
Campus Recreation and SLICE attended the Student Fee Review Board to discuss their mandatory budget increase. Director of SLICE, Pamela Norris, discussed the organization's mission to create a culture of involvement and how she plans to do so.
What we found was that every time we added even a student staff member, one more human for people to be able to talk to and ask questions and navigate the university, the more registered student groups we would get.
SLICE proposed an increase of student fees by 50 cents and plans to use their new budget toward increasing employee salaries. With about 50% of students involved in work study, CSU can plan to see student hourly wages increase to $11.10 by next January.
I really do truly believe if we added another full-time staff member, we'd see that number just grow, because it really is just about being available for servicing students.
Campus Recreation will be using their increase of $2.73 for mandatory costs. These costs include providing and updating state-of-the-art equipment and facilities.
That is for mandatory costs only.
At the university, we have a fantastic resource with our fields that's called the Greater Green. It's a unique feature at our institution, and quite frankly, it's unique in the fact that most institutions across the country do not have these playing fields right in the middle of campus.
With these budget increases, in the future we can plan to see Slice focusing on improving and promoting their mobile food pantry campaign, while Campus Recreation plans to install LED lights on the fields in an effort to become more efficient and sustainable.
We'll do assessments.
Both proposals were approved, and students can plan to see those changes in the near future.
The Vice President for Research Challenge, where graduate students present their research in 3 minutes for the chance to win scholarship money and a place in the VPR Fellowship. Cody Carell, a second-year chemistry graduate student, was among the 16 chosen fellowship recipients. Carell's participation in the competition preceded his previous work in the Graduate Showcase, a poster presentation for graduate students. Upon accepting the invitation, Carell had 2 months to prepare his research for the competition. The research Carell presented on is known as 3D printed rotational manifold for point-of-care salmonella detection. This research is one of the cheapest and most efficient ways to rapidly treat hospital patients.
The Fort Collins City Council recently voted against funding lockers for the homeless at the Fort Collins Mennonite Fellowship Church, prompting the church to fundraise on GoFundMe instead. But the city still faced backlash from local activist groups for an ordinance that would have prohibited lying and sitting on public spaces such as sidewalks, benches, and plazas. Sister Mary Alice Murphy Center for Hope, a new local organization, is now aimed to help the homeless population. The Murphy Center, as it is commonly referred to, provides at least 10 core services. The center provides male laundry units and showers, a food pantry, and a gear closet from which homeless visitors can acquire supplies and free breakfast. Murphy Center Director Tom Austin says social isolation often preludes homelessness and noted there's a stigma surrounding those who are homeless. Austin also added that solving homelessness should involve focusing on social rehabilitation.
CSU's vet school is doing cutting-edge research on stem cell therapy from both domesticated and exotic animals that could potentially influence human medicine in the future.
Colorado State University's vet hospital is known for their innovative programs and research, and they have now turned their attention to a wide variety of stem cell research.
So the big programs we have right now are we're looking at using stem cells to treat chronic wound infections, and we're also using stem cells to treat chronic osteoarthritis, which is very common in dogs and cats as they get older, much as it is in people, and also very common in older animals in zoos and wildlife sanctuaries.
The vet school has multiple studies in the works, most of them related to osteoarthritis. Multiple veterinarians are helping with clinical trials in pets that could shape the future of stem cell research, both in animals and humans.
When we look at stem cell research in dogs, one of the great things with that is that if we show that this works in dogs, it is something that then can actually help people as well. That's really another aspect of that. Not only with those clinical trials are we helping individual dogs, but we're also helping to advance human medicine down the road, hopefully.
CSU's work with stem cells in exotic animals is getting the most national attention. One of Dr. Valerie Johnson's first exotic assignments was to help giraffes with arthritis at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo.
So a couple of giraffes in particular were really having a hard time, and even the medications they were giving weren't really working. So we talked about using stem cells in that giraffe. We grew up a bunch of different giraffe cell lines from blood and used some to treat that elephant and also to characterize them and make sure they behaved in the way that normal stem cells behave in.
Dr. Johnson is also the first person to attempt to use stem cells to treat arthritis in polar bears, which she did for Boris, a bear at the Point Defiance Zoo.
I think the most exciting part was just being able to get up close to these amazing animals, because I never really have done that before. I've never really been on hugging terms with a polar bear until now, and Boris was just a gorgeous, amazing creature. And so it has been so exciting for me to be able to work closely with these animals and also be able to help these animals that I feel like, you know, we have put them in this position and they deserve our help.
CSU pre-vet student Misha Harrison was able to work closely with Dr. Johnson on her exotic stem cell research, and she had the unique opportunity to travel to Washington to help with Boris's treatment.
It's really humbling working in such an awesome environment with so many brilliant people, and I think that I got really lucky to land a job like this.
According to CSU public relations officials, multiple veterinarians are partnering with the Anschutz Medical Campus in Denver to translate their research into human medicine moving forward.
Wow, all of that sounds like it was so interesting to learn about.
It was super exciting. I was pretty disappointed I didn't get to meet Boris in person, though.
Well, fingers crossed that he comes next time.
Let's hope so.
Thank you again for joining us tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at CTV11. Up next, we have Edgar Cedillo with weather to let us know if a snowstorm is in the near forecast. Don't go anywhere.